Hi, I'm Master April Holly at American Tiger Martial Arts and Fitness. So the key concept for green black belt, this means that you're an advanced student or you're going back to review, and what we want to talk about is correct pole position. Pole is meaning that how your body is aligned. So when I'm in my guarding stance, I'll do it to the side here, and if I'm leaning forward like this, can you see that I'm leaning and I don't have what's called a master's pose? So a master's pose, and I covered this in the stance video, but you want to have your pole straight, maybe drop your chin just a little bit, look up through your brows, but you don't want to lean. I see a lot of students who lean, or they lean back. So this position is really important, and as you're striking, it's still important. The key concept where you stay with your opponent is important, because if you don't, then you do a strike, they move back, and then you keep reaching, and they move back because maybe you reached them that time, and then you're really leaning to try and reach them. So that footwork is important to keep your pole straight. And when you're doing your hand forms and stuff, we're talking about having that nice master's pose when you're doing your half horses. You don't want to be hunched at the shoulders. You want to expand the chest back a little bit, and I've heard it said that you should feel it like it's a string lifting your head, like you want to have that be straight up and down, like you're being lifted straight. So the pole position, I'll demonstrate real quick with Mr. King when I was talking about the pole position when you're defending yourself. So let's say we're here, both in our guarding stance, and he throws a punch, and maybe I do a good block and strike, and he moves back, right? A lot of times students won't really move, they'll just keep trying to reach him, so then they're like, ugh, and then he doesn't really make it, maybe he moves a little bit, and the whole time I'm leaning. So with that, I want to keep that pole straight, drop that chin, he comes in, and I block and strike. I move in, and I'm here. I move in, and I'm here. So, and I'll notice I kept my guard up, but the important thing is I stayed in a position of strength. The cool thing is, let me demonstrate this with Mr. King. So just face the camera, Mr. King. Have your feet about hip width apart, okay? Now, I'm going to try and pull you down, and I want you to resist, okay? Okay, so because his pull's straight, I'm having a hard time pulling him off balance. So you're just going to, on purpose, lean. Now resist me pulling you to the ground. So that's the other thing. If you're fighting somebody and you're leaning forward, they could just reach up and push you to the ground if they still have, the ability to fight still. So that's a really big reason why we want to do it that way. So the second concept that kind of goes along with this first one is called angle of attack. So what you want to do is recognize the angle that a person is throwing a strike at you. So the angles could be, if you get in your guarding stance, and anything coming straight at me. He throws a straight punch, right? So then I use my footwork that way to get out of that. Let's say he does a snap kick. Same angle of attack. It's just a different limb. If he tries to hammer down top of my head, same angle of attack. If he does a roundhouse, that's a different angle of attack. So I blocked it here. Let's say I decided to duck it, right? Because that's an option. He does this, and I duck. I wouldn't want to duck a straight punch, but that could work if the person's really opened up and you could tell they're committed to that punch. All right? If he does a backhand, right, and I duck, it's the same angle of attack. It's a horizontal angle of attack. A roundhouse kick, same angle of attack. So if you recognize that, even if they have a weapon in their hand, go ahead and grab that plastic knife over there, Mr. King.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. He puts that in his left hand. It's the same angle of attack he had when he threw the punch. He goes straight at me, and I move out of the way. So if you could just get to know the angles and how you're going to react to the angles of the attack, you have less things to think about. You might think, oh, there's a knife, what do I do? Well, what's the angle of attack? That's how you're going to address whatever is coming at you. So I just hope that helps, because a lot of times we could say, what do you do with a snap kick? What do you do with a straight punch? What do you do with a cross punch? What do you do with a roundhouse punch? So if you know those angles, you'll have a good idea how to handle those. So thanks for watching. Thank you, Mr. King.